another dice video for you today. If you've not already done the original dice video that's on YouTube, I suggest you pop on there and have a look at it, just to familiarise yourself with the concept of what we're doing in these videos. But basically, in a nutshell, we are assigning a number to a cardiovascular or a strength conditioning exercise, which obviously I'm going to roll the dice. Whatever the number lands on is the exercise that you do. Okay, so that is pretty much how it works. Cardiovascular exercise will be working up to a minute. Strength and conditioning will be doing 12 to 15 reps. If at any point you can't quite manage those timescales or repetitions, I want you to march on the spot until we move on to the next exercise, okay? And when I'm throwing the dice, continue to march in between exercises as well. Just don't stop and stand there, and just continue to march, just to keep the blood pumping around the body, okay? All you're gonna need for the exercise is a chair, sturdy chair, not one on wheels, and some hand weights. So whatever you're using as a resistance at the moment, whether it's tins out your cupboard or whether it's water bottles, whatever it is, you're going to need those, so make sure you've got those as well. You need to do your warm-up before you start this exercise, so go and do your warm-up and then come back to me when you're ready. And as always, make sure you're in a well-ventilated room, you're wearing appropriate clothing and footwear, no changes in your symptoms, health or your medication, and obviously you've got a drink to hand as well. Okay, so pop off and do your warm-up and then come back to me as and when you're ready. Okay, cardiovascular exercise is jab cross, so standing, feet hip width apart, okay, making sure you're nice and comfortable, arms up in front of you, and then punching corner to corner, okay, so twisting at the hip instead of the waist. So rather than using your waist, I want you to twist and turn your hip towards the camera, okay, so you're punching across corner to corner, extending the arms but not locking out the elbows, twisting the whole body, pivoting on the toes as you're punching through, okay, so jabbing across, okay, so twisting through, as I've said, keeping your posture up high and your back nice and straight as you're doing. So working our way up to a minute of jab cross. Okay, just a few more seconds and march it out. Okay, strength and conditioning exercise is bicep curl. So grabbing your hand weights, whatever it is you're using as hand weights. So you are going to have palms out, keep your feet moving at all times throughout the exercise, and you're going to curl up the bicep dumbbell or whatever hand weight you've got up towards the shoulders and then back down, trying not to lock the elbows out as you return back down to the bottom of the movement. So standing side on, as you can see, not completely locking the arm out. Locking the arm out would be that, so you just keep a nice soft elbow and then back up. Back's nice and straight, chest is nice and high, keep marching throughout, and obviously aiming for your 12 to 15 reps as you do it nicely, slowly, controlled. Okay, holding it there, pop your weights down and marching it out. Okay, cardiovascular exercise is a hamstring curl. So again, make sure you've got enough room to be able to do the movement. If you need to stand side on, that's also fine. I'll just demonstrate forwards just to show you. Hamstring curl, so you're bringing the heel up towards the bum, taking quite a wide stance, just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart. If you prefer to have your hands on your hips, that's absolutely fine. Or like me, if you prefer to pretend that you're pulling your legs up to give you a bit of momentum and a bit of timing, then that is also fine, okay? So really concentrate on keeping the chest and back high, posture's nice and tall, and bringing the foot up towards the bum, okay? I'll just demonstrate side on just so you can see what it is that I'm doing with my feet, okay? So a few more seconds and then we'll march it out. Okay, hold it there and march through. Okay, strength and conditioning exercise is a seated or sitting leg extension. So I'm going to do this demonstrating from the side. So grabbing your chair, planting it somewhere where you can extend your leg out fully. Okay, you're going to sit sort of not right in the middle of your chair, but just a bit away from the back. Hold on to the bottom, chest is nice and high, back's nice and straight. Extend the leg out, pointing the toe towards the ceiling. Hold that contraction. You'll feel the contraction in your quad as you're doing this. So nice and slow, and bringing the leg back down to meet the foot on the floor. Okay, so again, aiming for 12 to 15 reps, and try not to slouch as you do this, because obviously the force of contraction will be a lot weaker. So sitting nice and tall, swapping legs, and just hang on to that chair for support if you need to. Pull yourself down into the chair if you feel that you're rocking back as you're doing the motion, okay? So 12 to 15 reps on each leg. Stand up nice and slowly. So we'll do 2 more reps, and then we'll stand up nice and slowly, and then just march it out for a few seconds, get the blood flow back into the legs. Okay, cardiovascular exercise will be high knees. Okay, so hands out in front, just like we're doing the warm up, and bring the knees up to meet the palms of your hand. If you can't quite manage hip height, then take your hands down a little bit lower. You can also do this as a seated option as well if you're a little bit wobbly on your feet, okay? So as we're marching and bringing the knees up, make sure you're pointing your toes towards the floor and driving the knee up towards the ceiling, and try and touch your hands if you can, okay? An alternate option for this, if you want to make it harder, is, as we're doing the warm-up, alternate your hands to knees. Obviously, if balance is an issue, then I don't recommend that you try this one, okay? So as I said, we're working up to a minute. If you've had enough and you want to just march on the spot, then that's fine, but continue, if you can, to do the high knee option. Okay, so we're just coming up to a minute and marching it out. Okay, strength and conditioning exercise is a leg raise. Okay, so you can do this holding onto the chair, or you can do it without, whichever you prefer. Okay, so you're going to pick one leg, obviously do one leg at a time. You're going to take the leg out and then back to the centre. Okay, so if you feel a bit wobbly and you need something to hold on to, you've got your chair or you've got the wall when you swap legs over. Okay, so just taking the leg out to the side and then back to centre. Okay, making sure you swap legs, do 12 to 15 reps on each side. So it's just this muscle here, side of the glute, back of the glute, and side of the leg. You'll feel it in your hips as well if you've got tight hip flexors. Okay, so 12 to 15 reps on each side and then marching it out. Okay, cardiovascular exercise is star jump or a half star. If you can't quite manage a star jump, you can do a half star. So half star is literally taking alternate arm and leg out to the side and meeting again into the middle. Okay, a full star jump, as you know, both out and in to the centre. Okay, so you've got the higher intensity option here, or the lower intensity option is out to the side. If you can't quite manage the arms and the legs, then just do the legs. Okay, just keep the arms nice and relaxed. Okay, obviously shoulder issues and stuff will play a part in this, but if you're going to be doing the higher intensity option, making sure feet and hands meet back into the middle. Okay, so we're coming up to a minute. Those of you that are doing star jumps, full star jumps, well done, and march it out. Okay, strength and conditioning exercise is a front raise, so grabbing your hand weights again. So what we're going to be doing, again, marching throughout, so keep your feet moving. You're going to be bringing your weights up towards shoulder height and gently back down. If bringing both together is too difficult, if you feel that that's straining on your back or you can't quite manage it with the weights that you've got, you can either reduce the weight that you've got, as in making it lighter, or you can alternate one arm at a time. Whatever feels most comfortable. Just remember you're aiming for 12 to 15 repetitions on these exercises for strength and conditioning, okay? So your options are dropping the weight, making it lighter if you want to do 2 together, or you can alternate by bringing them up alternatively and marching on the spot. So a few more seconds and then pop your weights down and march it out. Okay, CV exercise will be a reverse or a side lunge if you can't manage a reverse lunge. Okay, so for demo purposes, I'm just going to demo without the chair. If you need a chair to hang on to, you can do this. Just make sure you do both legs, okay? So reverse lunges, you'll be taking one foot back, dropping that back knee, and then back up, okay? So again, this is where make sure you've got appropriate footwear on, that you're not going to slip on the surface that you're on, okay? Obviously, if you had the chair, you'd be holding on to that just here. So that's your reverse lunge. Side lunge option, again, taking it out to the side and squatting down. I'm going to come this way so you can see me. So feet in the centre, out, and then leaning forward slightly as you squat down. So imagine your bum's going back, okay? So you're lunging rather than squatting, okay? So reverse lunges, drop the back knee back to the centre. Side lunges are out to the side and into the centre, okay? So whatever you feel more confident to do, then carry on doing that one. If you've had enough, just march it out. One more, and marching it out. Okay, strength and conditioning exercise is a high row. So grabbing your hand weights, okay, palms are facing you, so your wrists are facing outwards, and all you're going to do, keep your feet moving, draw or bring the weights up to your chin level and then back down, okay? So just this movement, straight up and down, okay? So again, if you can't quite manage both together, if you want to alternate, then that is completely fine. Just remember to keep a count of how many reps you've done, okay? If you want to do all one side first, that's completely acceptable. Just remember to do the other side as well, okay? Or if you're doing both together, if you can't quite manage it, you may need to adjust your weight slightly, get something a little bit lighter, okay? So a few more, and then pop your hand weights down and march it out. Give your arms a shake, get the blood flow back in your arms and your shoulders. Okay, cardiovascular exercise is skipping but without the rope, okay? So this might feel a little bit strange, but I'll move back so you can see my feet. So basically just pretend that you're skipping with a skipping rope. Now some of you can do fancy footwork, okay, and you can do like a little jig, or you can just almost bounce on your toes as though you're running on the spot or jogging on the spot. But incorporate the arms, because it will help to work the biceps and the forearms and the shoulders, okay? So just pretend that you've got that skipping rope and that you're having a little skip on the spot, okay? As I've said, you can drop your arms by the side if you just want to incorporate the footwork, but incorporating the arms will just give you a bit more of a CV element to the exercise, okay? So if you want to do fancy footwork, as you can see, I'm no skipper, but do what you wish. So just coming up to a minute. If you manage that, well done, and march it out. Okay, strength and conditioning exercise is a wall press, so making sure that you've got a nice clear wall, feet are far enough away from the walls just so that you can bend in towards it. Obviously if you're too close, you're not going to get full extension of your arm. So stepping back from the wall, feet hip width apart or whatever stance is comfortable for you. Make contact with the wall and then slowly bring the face towards the wall, bending the elbows. Try not to lock the elbows out as you extend away from the wall, and try not to push back, okay? No momentum, okay? So nice, slow, controlled movements. Adjust your hands accordingly if you feel that you need to, or take your feet further away or closer to the wall so that you can manage 12 to 15 reps. Do a few more reps, make sure that your chest and back are nice and straight, that you're not, you know, sort of rounding your shoulders as you do this, all right? 2 more reps and marching it out. Okay guys, so that is your DICE workout complete. Continue to march on the spot unless you're planning on doing another couple of rounds of this. If you want to redo it once or twice, then that's entirely up to you. If not, if you've finished for the day, you need to go and head over and do your cool down video before you finish your exercise for the day. Okay, so that was another DICE video done. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you soon.